Hello, everyone, and welcome to Coffee Catch-Ups on a beautiful Tuesday. For all of you Aucklanders, how good was the weekend where you got to hug your mates, where you got to go and have a drink at the bar, got to go and test out your favorite restaurants? Funny thing is, I actually haven't managed to make it to a restaurant yet, but I am heading out for lunch after this to a nice cafe and looking forward to that. So I hope you're all doing amazing, everybody out there, gearing up for Christmas, because I'm sure there's many of you out there that are pumped for a little bit of a break and a refresh before next year, because we all know what we said in 2020. Next year is the year. We're coming back strong. It's going to be amazing. And then, 2021, hey, there we go. It is what it is. But now 2022, bring it on. Let's rip into it. And today I have a exceptional guest on, someone who is making a second appearance, but he deserves way more than 2 appearances, because he's probably a big reason why I've gone down the route of doing coffee catch-ups. He huge inspiration in the podcasting space, in his YouTube space, his knowledge, his passion for helping people, extraordinary. So I better stop, because I'm saying way too many nice things about him. Lawrence, are you there?
I'm your brother. How you doing?
Good. And I'm sorry about saying all those nice things about you. You're probably not used to
that. Thanks so much for the intro. It's always great being on the other side and having a listen of people what to say. And by all means, you don't have to be that nice. I'm happy to share the knowledge and give it away. But something was just really fun sitting back on the intro. To anyone that's watching at the moment, how is that countdown? How does that make you feel, right? For a person like me, that 30-second countdown builds up excitement inside me, like, what's going to happen? I know I'm coming on the show, but the excitement just pulled up into me. Yeah. And I can imagine other people watching it going, ooh, what's going on? Why is there a countdown?
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that, for a lot of the guests, I'm sure you're feeling quite comfortable because you've spent a bit of time in front of a camera. Mm-hmm. But for some of the guests, that countdown is like agonizing, because it's like their first time on a podcast or on a show or so, and it's just like the tension builds, and then by the time they come on, they're like, my name is
but, it is such a weird one, just getting used to it.
So tell us a little bit about the name that you've got. So Lawrence Lotze, not that name, the name that you came up with for your show. I love it. I mean, the Wolf of Queen Street. Where did it come from? And obviously we kind of know where it's come from, but what was the inspiration behind it, and what made you decide on that?
Well, it was an interesting choice I'd made when I started the brand over in the early parts of 2019. Thinking about it, actually, in the end parts of 2018, my life was a lot different from then to when it is now. To anyone that wants to know more about it can do a bit of research of what's happened in my past. But at that stage, I was like, I had success and I had status, and I thought I was cool beans and everything else. And I saw Jordan Belfort as this, this top level of everything that has to do with success and money, the Wolf of Wall Street. Everyone saw that movie as sort of the tick box of, if you can imagine if you could be that person that lives that style, that's where you could reach it. And to me, I thought, okay, why don't I chase that and make myself the Wolf of Queen Street? Obviously, Queen Street being the main street in Auckland. Not that it has anything to do with the finance sector, but it was just a sort of a play on it. So it was more of a humor side of it, going, hey, I want to be the successful person in the New Zealand space, like Jordan Belfort was when I originally started the brand. And that's why I thought I originally picked it. My original branding was identical. I had the same yellow coloring as he had on it. It was myself in a white suit standing in front of my hands up like this, like, look how successful I am in front of the Auckland city skyline. It was totally like cookie cutter on that one, but it was what resonated with me really in that time period, which has actually evolved totally different now.
So in terms of that, because obviously it's evolved, and a big part of your show is inspiring people. It's bringing people's messages out there to be able to help, or to be able to guide. Was that the intention when you first started, and how has the program kind of evolved for you?
No, fundamentally, it wasn't really started to help people. It was started to be cool and to get in front of successful people. I mean, I could say that with a pinch of arrogance on my own corner, going, I wanted to interview the top entrepreneurs in the world and see what they had to say and all their secrets and everything else. So that's why originally when I started, I was interviewing so many American-based or overseas-based people, not New Zealand-based, and trying to get all those stories out of it, thinking this is where people really want to know, like people want to know how to be successful from these top people, but not in the style or not in the way that I was actually doing it in the beginning. And that was part of the learning, going, oh, I've had all these amazing names, but it's not making any effect to my audience. I'm not growing. People aren't really resonating with it. And that's where the first slide of the pivot and the humble pie came in, that what I think is cool and what I think people want is actually not what people want, or what an audience expects. And that's where the pivot started to happen, as well as my medical condition that changed my focus as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, in terms of your transition through, I know that you've undergone some pretty tough times, and the resilience and the what you've overcome is exceptional.
Mm-hmm.
And a huge inspiration. So a little bit of an epic story. Do you want to just touch on a little bit of what that story is? I know that it's something that inspires so many people.
Yeah, just from a light touch point of view, as I said, in 2018, I thought I had it all, had the world, everything else. The family were traveling, doing all these trips overseas. It was sort of the pat on the shoulder, going, you've made it, you're there. And then coming to 2019, and had a major health scare where, after a couple of months of doing some tests and everything else, was diagnosed with a golf ball sized brain tumor that was sitting on my optic nerve and my pituitary gland. After that diagnosis, I went into, on 26th of June 2019, on my birthday, went into surgery to remove that. They found out it was actually larger than a golf ball, and it caused some issues. They had to remove my pituitary gland, and some ongoing issues from that till this day because of that surgery. But that was the first start of that whole journey, because from that June period till about February in 2020, I went through multiple dips and low points of having to go back to work because income wasn't coming in, having to go back to work because my insurance company wouldn't pay out, and I found myself in a hole. Finding out coming into 2020 February, and I bounced on a mortgage because I couldn't pay my bills. Also in the same time period, in February 2020, myself, my wife had to come up publicly and say to everyone, we weren't sure if we were still going to stay married or what was going to happen, because we couldn't see eye to eye from the people, or not the people, the person I had become was totally different to the person that she had married. So this was sort of from 12 months earlier of this, top of the level living where you wanted to all the way down to the very bottom of the most bottom of the barrel sort of curve. Time frame through from 2019 into 2020, and getting through this and learning through this, and and still struggling today with a lot of those situations that happened.
Yeah. I mean, it's a massive thing that you've gone through, and like I said, I take my hat off to you in the strength that you've shown, and the growth as well. I got to know you kind of through that period of time, and I'd certainly rate you as one of my good mates, and in terms of what you bring to the table is pretty awesome. So in terms of that, I mean, what are some of the things that you incorporate in your life in order to bring yourself to become that best version of yourself? What was shifts that you made? What happened?
Well, yeah. So because I got forced, so this is one of the big things where mine is a little bit different to most, but in life, we got decisions we can make. We can make the decisions out of our own free will. In the situation, we've got multiple decisions. I got in the situation where I could only make one decision. I was at rock bottom. There was no other option but to make a decision to get out of it. How do I get financially secure? How do I be able to pay my bills next month? How do I be able to take my family to the next stage that I can hope to pay for bills and school fees and everything else? I got forced on that path. A lot of people wait till they get forced to get into that path. You don't ever want to be in that situation that the only decision you can make is the one that you get forced. But because I was in that situation, I was able to go out and reach out and actually beg for help. Jono is part of those people that I reached out to first, a couple out of a handful of people, and said, okay, I need help. And this is my situation, and I need to be educated or shown which different paths I can go down to get my life sort of further in control. And in 2020, that was done with mentorship and coaching and one-on-ones, and just having people I could bounce stuff off with to show me, okay, in this area, This is how we're going to get it sorted. These are how we're going to get your account sorted. These are how we're going to get your finances sorted. These are how we're going to get it a bit more stable. This is how we're going to grow, your business and your life and everything else. And once that control further came in, I gave a bit more control from my side of trying to figure out where I am as a person, because we're all different. Some people, I can handle chaos, but I still have to have control in that space. In the beginning part of 2020, there was chaos, but I couldn't see the control. So I had to get the control coming in a little bit before I could start seeing the other areas of my life slowly starting to improve. Don't get me wrong. Nothing's perfect or improved as best as it can be. That's going to take years and years. But that's where people have got to learn through of as well, is how much do they want to take in this situation? So is it chaos? How can they reduce that chaos to bring it down to the norm? At that situation, can they learn from it? Can they take their steps forward? Okay, how do I take those steps forward with someone else coming in to help me as well, and so forth?
Yeah, that's really, really cool. And I mean, in terms of the people you surround yourself, I take my hat off to you. You've built yourself a really great network around you. Not only obviously in the financial space, you become a big part of Wealth Mentor and what we're doing here. But as well as that, you've just connected in with the right people to keep growing as an individual and becoming the best version of yourself. But then the great thing about it is you don't just take it all for yourself. You get that information out to everybody to try and impact on some people's lives. Do you think that's a real big motivator for you as well, in the fact that, really shifting your financial situation and then being able to give back and be able to shift other people's?
Yeah, I think this is one of the biggest pivot moments within the brand and the evolution of what I represent from day one of Wolf of Queen Street to where the brand and the entity sits itself was. When I started, I wanted to be the success. I wanted to have all the knowledge. I wanted to have everything for myself and for no one else. And through that time period, you finally learn, and it's one of the big things I stand for now. Like I said, learning the humble pie is that there's enough knowledge in the world for all of us to have. There's enough success, money in the world for us all to have and to share and live the lives we want to. So why should I want to take it all from everyone else? Why should I not be willing to share that? And then also learning that moment, and then also seeing with trying to help people, how many people out there could actually be 2 or 3 steps further if they just knew this knowledge. And this knowledge isn't paid knowledge. This knowledge isn't something that's hiding as a secret behind a corner. This knowledge is stuff that people should actually have been taught going through schools in their 20s. You always look in hindsight going, man, if I knew what I knew now 10 years ago, how different my life would be. This is where the sort of situation that I've found out with people in my network going, I've learned this, and it has given me all the joy and the growth that I want. And if I share it to you, it's not going to change anything in my path. I'm not going to be less successful, but you could take that next step by knowing that. And that's what I try to do now with my network. And as I say, your network is your net worth. I share 99.9% of everything I know for free or out into the open place. I leave a little bit there just so if I need to, it's in my back pocket as a joker card.
Yeah, awesome. And then in terms of that, so the evolution of the Wolf of Queen Street, you're now doing the daily nuggets as well as something that's been on, all across my social medias, and they're pretty epic. So tell us a little bit about what the daily nugget is, and why it came about.
Yeah, so anyone that watches or knows about the Daily Nugget, my apologies already, because it is a live series. So if you do follow social media, you will get the notifications that I'm live every single day. Please don't unfollow me, like someone, a close friend of ours that's talking about it, because you can just go into your notifications and you can switch off the settings for any live notifications. Please make sure you stay and watch the show. But yes, the Daily Nugget came out of this me again seeing a gap in the market where in the property space, specifically in the New Zealand, things are moving so quickly that day to day, the government is releasing new rules. Day to day, there's things that are changing tax-wise, bank-wise, mortgage rates, DTI, all this sort of stuff. And the common mom and dad investor, or just even the large-sum investor, sometimes is too busy to know what is going on. And also, they don't know a place where they can go and get knowledge freely. And I'm openly to say the word freely, because part of my brand is I give the knowledge freely away, and I don't expect anything. I don't on-sell mentorship. I don't do a lot of the other things where a lot of other big competitive brands might do that. So I started the Daily Nugget as sort of a once 20 minutes or less a day, one topic, and we cover off what is trending in the market at the moment. So a couple of weeks ago, we spoke about the debt to income that is changing. Then we spoke about the high density triple story building. What does that mean? What's the impact of interest rates? And it's sort of a live moment, so that if someone comes in and watches a week of them or sort of a week and a half, they'll get the vibe of what's going on in the market right now. And I thought that's a really nice way, because our social media and our news, depends where you're reading it, is giving you totally different information, right? How's the market up? How's the market's down? How's the market's going to implode? How's the market's going to, go all these different things. Fundamentally, it should just come down to facts. What's the rule? What does it stipulate? And how does that affect me as an individual with my journey?
Yeah, I mean, you see it all the time where you can jump on, say, one of the big news channels, and you could literally have an article underneath each other. One is how the market is booming, and the other how the market's about to drop in value, and completely contradicting, taking facts and figures and twisting it, I guess, for some clickbait. So it's really nice that you're able to bring real life and current stuff to the marketplace. And I believe you've managed to secure some pretty good guests leading up to Christmas.
Yes, I'm pretty excited to announce that the Wealth Mentor team, Jono and Karen, is actually starting on the series from Thursday. So from Thursday live, every single day, I do across from 11 a.m. till Christmas. So we're hoping to run as close to Christmas as possible for the live series.
Cool. Awesome. Well, we're so looking forward to jumping on there and being able to share some more of the knowledge. And then, I guess there's the shift around as well, because, I guess for both of us, we've got a great relationship where it's win-win on both sides, because, we can support each other, we can grow, we can hit our mission. And, part of Wealth Mentors' whole mission is making wealth accessible to all, and the evolution of our business, creating a platform where people can go and grab the education through the different partners, the different mentors, and really excited that your face is on that new platform, and people will be able to access some of your awesome content on there as well, and that must be really quite exciting for you as well.
Yeah, I'm excited for people to find my content, not necessarily see my face. I think Karen and John have got the pretty face corner sorted, right? So, but yeah, so the content, it's always nice to have content that people want to see and go out there. And I'm excited to see what the platform has to offer for the Wealth Mentor family and the future family around that, of sort of a platform that people can come in and be educated and learn and go into different areas and vibes. And that's sort of the cool thing as well.
Well, the good news, guys, we are in testing stages, so we're not far away from having something pretty special to be able to share with everybody. So hang in there. One other thing I'd like to touch on, Lawrence, is we actually have a cash flow masterclass coming up this weekend. Now, cash flow masterclass, I love doing it. I mean, to be fair, I do over 3 days probably speak for about, 12 to 15 hours, if not, of presenting. But the fact is, we get to change so many people's lives on 3 days. And you love them so much that after attending one probably 18 months ago or so, you now come and give us a hand on them. Talk us a little bit about why you would want to come and give us a hand on a cash flow masterclass, and what you see through it, and the transition of our guests, our clients that come along.
Yeah, so it's true. I attended, as you said, maybe 18 months ago, did my own one, had my own moments and breakthrough at that time. I mean, I was struggling myself personally through that journey we spoke about earlier, and then had that sort of realizations more through that moment. But I'm a sort of person that I want to be around people where there's cool things happening, where there's learning going on, where there's excitement, where there's change happening, and that sort of stuff. You see people all online, like, the kids these days, they watch YouTube and they watch the YouTube stars or reality programs, and everyone turns around and goes, man, imagine you could be in the behind the scenes with them. Like, I'm a massive Dwayne The Rock Johnson, DJ, and Kevin Hart fan, right? I'm massive. I always go, imagine you could be behind the movie scene for Jumanji and see what is going on right there, right? Cashflow Masterclass is very similar for me. I went and attended the event, and you look at it and went, this is awesome. what is going on here is amazing. What has been offered and changing people's lives, and the moment you can see in other people is absolutely epic. I want to go behind the scenes of this, and how can I do that? And that's when I spoke to Jono, and I said, dude, I want to jump on board. I just want to sit in the background. I'll do whatever you guys do. I'll be gopher and run for coffees. And I think the first few times that's exactly what it was, right? I mean, there's like you says, I think the weekends would be easy, 36 hours, if not more, 40 hours across the 3 days for the people behind the scenes. And I'm there. I'm happy to do it because I just want to be around that circle, learn and everything else and pick up from it. And there's so many different moments, not just from behind the scenes, but it's amazing to see from the people that actually join in the Cashflow Masterclass. So every single time, at the end of the Sunday when we all done, I walk away and go, there was that moment from that person that went through it that was amazing. There was that person that had that story that had a breakthrough, or I can see that they had that bit of a light that I got through, that I know that in 12 or 18 months, they will see the success or even quicker than what I did from my Cashflow Masterclass.
I got a lot of goosebumps during that, Lawrence. I mean, because you know how passionate I am about the masterclass. It's our flagship event. It really is a superb event, and we've actually been offering it at a ridiculous price leading up to Christmas. So, if anybody was still interested in that ridiculous price, tell you what, flick me a DM on Instagram, or flick me an email if you've got my email. There you go, office@wealthmentor.co.nz. Thank you, tech team. Geez, he's good in the background, Nimesh, isn't he? Click us an email and we'll make sure that we can get you guys a ticket because it is coming up this weekend. It's absolutely epic 3 days. Lawrence, before I do ask you your last question, one of my goals, I know you're a bit of a social media genius. One of my goals out of lockdown, I had a couple lose some weight while I'm wearing a shirt I haven't worn for 2 years. So that's an exciting day for me. Mm-hmm. But as well as that, I wanted to double my Instagram followers. Now, I think I got about maybe 10, 15% up. So how am I going to do this, my friend? Tell me, for all those people out there looking to grow their following, what do I need to do?
Well, this is always the first question that comes from anyone in the social media world. How do I get viral? How do I get success? How do I get famous, depending where you are? I think the biggest thing is, if we're speaking about Instagram specifically, is seeing what is trending on the app, specifically by the app. So what I mean by that is, at the moment on Instagram, Reels is the place to go. And this is where we've seen the most successful growth for any brands and so forth. So what happens is, I would recommend that if you are Instagram, is look and consider doing Reels. Reels are literally TikTok for Instagram. You can do 7, 10 second, 20-second little videos, and you put them up there, whether you are dubbing a song or you're talking about motivation. This is where, on the IG world of things, massive growth. A few of the people that I follow, this was being their biggest strategy. Now, just one point. Real success, in a weird way, you'll get massive numbers, but the following won't follow. So your followers won't go up. So you'll get 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 people watching your video. And it has this weird way that it has to form a foundation. And what a lot of people see in the Instagram world is, it takes about 45 to 60 days of doing regular reels, once a day, 3 times a week, 5 times a week. And about that 45 to 60 day mark is when all of a sudden it goes back and it builds a massive foundation. And I've seen channels at the moment that have done that and have gone from 1,000 to 2,000 followers on Instagram to 50,000 followers within that, on that 60-day mark, and then going from 60 to 90 days. If their content is strong and if their content is offering education in the right section and the niche that they're in. So if you're just standing there and being silly and it's not really that cool, you're not going to hit those. You're not going to hit those matrices and those numbers. But if you're actually providing knowledge, providing knowledge in property when no one in the New Zealand market is doing it, just a inverted comma, there we go. No one's doing reels about the property market effectively. That could be the niche to grow your numbers.
See, such a brain behind that, man. And you've been a big part of our YouTube channel as well. So while you guys are watching this, make sure you go down there, hit the subscribe button. Got to hit that bell as well, Lawrence. Is that correct? So they get notifications when we jump on as well.
Yeah, totally. But when hitting the bell pops up the notifications. The main thing is hitting the subscribe and dropping a comment below. Let us know what you took from this episode, what you want to see more, right? The biggest thing is myself and Jono, as much as I think Jono loves seeing himself in front of a camera, I'm a bit weirded by it. We're here for you. So anything that you want to cover, you want to talk about, I'm sure Jono can talk about the most quirkiest things in the world, that's why we're doing what we're doing.
Awesome. You're a legend, Lawrence. All right, my last question for you. Where do you see yourself in 10 years' time? What's happening in Lawrence's life in 10 years?
Oh, crazy. I'm hoping that in over the next 10
not hoping. Where
no,
are you going to be?
I'm good. No. Let's say the first statement. Let's hear the first part. I'm hoping that life is normality, that we have in-person events. There we go. Okay. So this COVID thing or whatever the next version of some disease in the next 10 years has disappeared. One of the biggest things I've still got on my focus is public speaking, but I've done that already. But it's public speaking in front of a big event of 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 people. So one of the biggest things for me over the next 10 years is to get into that situation and get into that situation regularly. I hate that word, regular. So that I can go out and tell people and help as many people if they're willing to have me to tell that story. The other biggest thing over the next 10 years is just to continue to build the amazing journey with myself, my wife, my kids, and our family. We're going through moments at the moment that we've just bulldozed our house we've lived in the last 7 years. We're hoping to start the new build in February. That's going to take almost a year. So the next couple of years, we live in a lot smaller place to hopefully get into our dream home in the next couple of years. So enjoying those memories, enjoying those journeys. A big thing as well is being able to travel the world with my family. We're a big family that likes going on experiences, overseas travel, Gold Coast, going over to America and things like that. And that is a promise I made to my wife, Denise. We promised ourselves after being married for 7 years. After 7 years of marriage, we'd never gone on holiday together. We never went on a honeymoon. We never did anything. We were so head down, working so hard to try and get success and stability to grow for our family. So we made a call at that stage after 7 years going, once a year, we want to do a family trip as a family, and it has to be overseas. So Waiheke Island and South Island don't count. It has to be overseas outside of New Zealand zone that we can do that trip and experience and have fun with the kids, as well as once a year, myself and Denise, my wife, go and do the exact same thing so we can enjoy time as a husband and wife. And this is something that I'm really excited for. And I know a lot of people will be watching going, they can't wait to be able to do those travels. For us, it's sort of our moment of, reconnecting, enjoying, and having fun over there. And that's what a big thing I can't wait to see over the next even couple of years, not even 10 years' time.
Absolutely. I know there's a lot of people that are very excited to get out there and head to the airport and jump on that plane. I certainly am myself as well. Lawrence, absolutely epic episode. It has been so cool to have you on. Absolute pleasure as always. Any last words before we let everybody go and enjoy their Tuesday afternoon?
All I say is to anyone that's watching at the moment, if there's a decision or something you think about it, just do it. The last couple of years should have taught everyone that we can't wait. Things are changing instantly. Things are changing tomorrow, next week, and then you can't make that decision. Don't ever get in the situation that I got to, my family got to, that the only decision was that because I got forced to. If you're considering something, if you want to make something, take that first step. Yes, it'll be hard. It will be the hardest step to take. But after that, everything else will be a lot easier. So think about it, take it, and move forward.
Amazing. Thank you, Lawrence. Everybody, have a fantastic day. And as always, get out there and stay awesome. Goodbye, everybody.